How y'all feeling out there? What? I hope so. It's been a minute since I did a live, about like 2 weeks. A lot of transition been happening. I've really been like feeling it ever since Pluto entered into Aquarius. I felt the shift. I needed emotions was all over the place, but I'm regrouping, getting myself together, and yes, and that's order. So I also been taking a step back of everything I've done since last year, 2023. I could say it was actually like a pivotal year for me. A lot was going on, like emotionally, physically, spiritually, and mentally. Um, I was working on unmasking and and finally accepting the fact that I am an alien, I am a foreigner who's navigating an inaccessible society, but I'm on a mission to disrupt it. Yes, and it's been like a lot of uphill battles, self-reflection, and all that good stuff, and owning who I am as a neurodivergent entrepreneur who also so happens to be a creative being who is also a black woman living in America. So yeah, it's been a lot, but enough of that. I want to provide like an overview of what we are going to be discussing today in today's live stream. So first, I'm going to play Niecy Nash acceptance speech. I think at the Emmys, because that really resonate and spoke to my soul. Gonna do that. I'm going to be providing like my personal journey of gaining more brain function, providing an overview of my mission of pioneering the world's first neurodivergent focused social media production company. And I'm also going to be highlighting my initiative that will be officially launching my mission for the Neurodivergent focused social media production company. And I will be sharing my different aspects of my fundraising campaigns and new features that I included in my Patreon channel, and how you can be a part of Black Girl Fire Cosmic Revolution, because I am claiming it. 2024 is the year of Black Girl Fire, and we shaking shit up and making it do what it does. And yes, and that's order. So let's get right into it by playing Niecy Nash video. Yeah, so yeah. Wait, why is it not playing?
You know, I'm the only one who knows what it cost me. I'm the only one who knows how many nights I cried because I couldn't be seen for a certain type of role. I'm the one who knows what it's like to go through divorce on camera and still have to pull up and show out, and you still got to go home and you have children and a whole life. And so I'm proud of myself. I'm proud that I did something that people said I could not do because I believed in me. And sometimes people don't believe in themselves, and I hope my speech was a delicious invitation invitation for people to do just that. Believe in yourself and congratulate yourself. Sometimes you got to encourage what? Yourself. And that's why it's not called mama esteem, them esteem, us esteem. It's called self-esteem. Because nobody got to believe it but you. You know, I'm the only one who knows what.
So yes, that speech really spoke to my soul, especially with my 19-year plus journey as being a traumatic brain injury survivor. And I remember so many times when I would tell people about my story, um, and they would question, am I disabled enough, or if this really happened to me? And then they would always say that was nothing but God. And then I always I felt some type of way. And I will admit this, I'm not a Christian. But I do believe in a higher power. I believe in the universe, and I really rock with Jesus. He was a fucking rebel, and I feel like a lot of Christians today, or I like to call them church folks, really don't align with the teachings of Christ, or not Christ-like. And I just feel like I had to find the goddess within, because I know that the ancestors, the universe, Mama Nature is something that guide me on my path. But it's up to me to be bold, to be my authentic self, and to take up space. And like Niecy Nash said in that video, she knew what it took for her to get there, how many nights she cried, what all she had to go through. And it had to take her pulling herself out of that dark space in order to keep going. Because I will say I have been traumatized over and over and over again. And that's why I dedicated 2023 to unmasking, to help me to rediscover who I am without the trauma, without all this baggage, without carrying the burdens and the responsibility of what others think or feel or how they treat me. Because I'm learning that have absolutely nothing to do with me, because that's their perception, that's not mine. And I've been working digitally and being self-full, like Iana Van Zant says, and really trusting the process and being fully present in the moment. And so and a story that I want to share that really resonate with what Niecy Nash said, that really spoke to my soul. So about 10 years ago, I experienced one of the worst silent seizures ever in my life. This was right after my granny had transitioned. She was the only living grandparent that I had. And it was real bad that they had to put me in a psych ward. I was actually handcuffed to the hospital bed. And because how I entered into the hospital, I guess they felt they had to give me medication to calm me down. And the pill that they gave me had forced me to stop having thoughts for over 10 plus years. It really disconnected my thoughts from my emotion. And just now, 10 years later, I'm just now getting more brain function. I'm now starting to feel the difference between my emotions and my thoughts and them not being convoluted into oneness. So, and yeah, like I have been like this might have been probably like over emotional because like for a long time I haven't been able to really like feel my emotion, feel the rawness and the fullness of like my emotions, and to like grieve like what has happened to me in my past. And so like I am taking up space. I am being me unapologetically. I am declaring that I am a neurodivergent Black woman living in America, taking up space, that is on a mission to live her very best life, to gain the very best that life has to offer. And yes, in that order. And so now like that brings me to like my mission of pioneering the world's first neurodivergent focused social media production company, which I am currently using Patreon as the beta stage. So like for me as a neurodivergent entrepreneur, there's a lot within the standard way of doing business that I'm really against. I'm against the rigidness, the strictness of it, because at the end of the day, I am a creative being at heart. I am a self-expressionist. I need freedom. I don't like rules. I like to disrupt and find how to create a system that works for me. So, like, the later half of 2023 was dedicated with me getting over my fear of the selling process and stepping into my power as a neurodivergent entrepreneur. So I spent countless hours to really thinking about like what, like I have this vision of pioneering the world's first social media production, neurodivergent focused social media production company. And I've done the research. I have firsthand experience of the exploitiveness of Hollywood and the ableism and the bias and the racism and the misogyny that all comes with it. And I'm glad that I have taken that process, because now it brought me to this moment to now think about like, yes, I first used it as a tool to help me to re-identify as a member of the African diaspora, a traumatic brain injury survivor re-entering into an inaccessible society, and a woman. So like it took a lot of trials and tribulation, a lot of understanding, a lot of setbacks. But now after I really done all the experimentation and I tested the limitation and the potential of what this production company can be, I'm ready to extend it to other individuals like me who are neurodivergent, who are disabled, who often feel misunderstood, unheard, and unseen. And this is the space that like I am creating. And which brings me to the initiative that's really going to set the framework for what I'm building, which is the Intergalactic Virtual Panel Discussion Series. So, like I said, like I have been like ever since 2020, I have been doing in-depth research on the inaccessibility problem within Hollywood, all stemming from the sudden passing of Chadwick Boseman. And I like to call my research the Chadwick Boseman effect, because I strongly believe that if the film industry was more inclusive and accessible for individuals who are neurodivergent or have chronic illness, I strongly feel and believe that Chadwick Boseman would still be here and that he wouldn't have had to live in constant fear of fulfilling his dreams before his sickness took him out. And really thinking about the how the last days of Chadwick Boseman's life and thinking about my personal experience and thinking about others who also often feel misunderstood, unseen, and unheard really pushed me to thinking about how can I create conversations to support the superpower of being neurodivergent, which is creative geniusness, and to amplify neurodivergent Black women voices within the film, within media and tech. Because again, we have currently witnessed the disruption of Hollywood and really taken off in May 2023 with the actors and writers strike. And the very thing that the actors and writers was asking for has been the very thing that people with disability has been asking for the entertainment industry for the longest. But film executives continue to make the excuse that it would be too expensive to make the reasonable accommodation, while the film industry earn over $300 billion per year. I mean, make it make sense. So, like before, it was my goal. I want to disrupt Hollywood by working with film executives, film studios on creating trainings on how to make the film industry and the entertainment industry in a whole more accessible for neurodivergent individuals and individuals with chronic illness. But I soon learned like there's a specific language that you need to talk to get their attention. And if you don't speak their language or play their game, they really don't want to hear what you gotta say. And I don't have time for that. I don't have time to play these mind games. So I'm taking all of that energy into building something like that have my existence, my identity at the forefront, because we constantly hear these stories from Monique to Taraji to Tracy Ellis Ross to Issa Rae, um, talking about how Black stories and Black identity and cultures aren't valued or respected in Hollywood. So this is the very mission of why I'm doing the intergalactic virtual panel discussion series to amplify neurodivergent Black women voices. And also, like I'm currently using like Patreon as my crowdfunding campaign. Like a lot of people have been telling me that I should use GoFundMe, Kickstarter, Indiegogo because it would be much easier and simpler. And I agree, kind of see what they was talking about, but I know like the vision that I that I have and what I want to bring to the forefront. And I know that Patreon is a platform that will give me the freedom to explore all the creative possibilities in my in my mind. So like the various ways of how you can support the crowdfunding campaign to help pioneer the world's first neurodivergent focused social media production company is one, by becoming a DWAA member, because we disabled with an attitude over here. Attending the virtual intergalactic virtual panel discussion series and rocking your DWAA Patreon, your DWAA T to support to support the mission, and 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 the very thing that really started everything for me was the innovative experimental film that I directed and produced back in between 2020 and 2021, called Welcome to Our Healing Sanctuary. Um, is and this film actually showcase how two black women, neurodivergent black women that have traumatic brain injury and PTSD uses art and connect with nature as like a healing tool. So this film is different from a lot of standard film because it is an example of a digital healing sanctuary, and it is edited and produced from the inside, from the perspective of a neurodivergent mind, and it's something that I really want to. It's my goal to really to push the boundaries of filmmaking and what's possible, and that's the ultimate version of what I want this neurodivergent focused social media production company to be. Yeah, and this is just the beginning of Black Girl Fire's Cosmic Revolution, because I am claiming it. 2024 is the year of Black Girl Fire's Cosmic Revolution. And if you want to be a cosmic explorer in this revolution, these are the three key things that you would need. One, to become a DWAA member on DWAA Patreon channel, because we are disrupting the narrative of what it means to be disabled. We are taking up space and being unapologetic about who we are. And yes, we are doing it with an attitude. And two, you would need your DWAA T to fully represent and to step into the power of being disabled with an attitude. And the third thing is that um, to support the crowdfunding campaign. And again, there are multiple ways you can support by becoming a DWAA member, by purchasing your DWAA tea, by purchasing the products in DWAA Patreon shop, and to really to hone in on this journey with us as we are on this, as I am being on this journey of like fully understanding how trauma have impacted me and how I am turning it into like an artistic healing experience. So yeah, I thank you. I thank you again for joining me, from like taking time out to really take in Niecy Nash iconic speech, to me sharing my personal experience within medical racism, and unmasking and being vulnerable enough to rediscover who I am without attaching myself to trauma and codependency, and to like really launching the intergalactic virtual panel discussion series to amplify neurodivergent Black women voices. So, yeah, it has been a long time coming. And I thank all you beautiful souls for being on this journey with me. Love, peace, and hair grease. And remember to be kind and gentle to yourself. And yes, in that order. Peace out, beautiful souls.